Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dinosaur Island. Our episode starts here, in the southern forests of the island. A small green iguana is wandering up in the tree canopy. These lizards have been around for millions of years, and they still thrive today along with the dinosaurs on this island. However, he is not going to stay up in these trees for long. He must move down to the ground. For reasons that are at this time unknown, we still have much to learn about lizard behavior. He has reached the forest floor. Unfortunately for the helpless lizard, he is being stalked by a dangerous predator. The predator is a male Utah raptor, but this is not just any Utah raptor. This is the baby. Razor and Violet's baby. As you can see, he has grown up quite a bit since the last time we saw him. So because he is now an adult, we shall give him a proper name. His new name is Switchblade. As you can see, he looks remarkably similar to the way Razor did when he first came on the show, before he got his adult feathers. Switchblade calls for the rest of the pack. It does not take long for his parents, Razor and Violet, to arrive. They are both very relieved that, finally, after months of taking care of him, Switchblade is old enough to fend for himself. However, he will not be leaving his parents, for raptors stay together for their entire lives. They are truly pack-hunting animals. Despite being the one who actually hunted down and killed the iguana, being the youngest, Switchblade is still at the bottom of the pecking order. He must submit to the power of his parents and wait for them to finish eating their fill before he can. Being that the iguana was a rather small kill, it does not take long for Razor and Violet to eat their fill. And after they do, it does not take long for their son Switchblade to come in to eat his. Meanwhile, we see the Southern Plains. A place that we have not been to in an incredibly long time. These were the plains where all those herds were in Season 2. Mark and Salty the Saltosaurs, Uno, Strack, Spike, and Maggie, the Styracosaurs, the Iguanodons, Birth of the Kentrosaurus, all of them. We have not been to this place since Season 2. But, of course, this episode is taking place on the south side of the island, and a very interesting and rarely seen dinosaur has just popped up in these very southern plains. This is the dinosaur that we spotted. This is something that, until today, we didn't even know lived on Dinosaur Island. It is a Ceratosaurus, a primitive ceratosaurian theropod from the late Jurassic period. The Ceratosaurus is moving towards a steep cliff. This is the very same cliff that Uno, the male Styracosaurus, and Redsail's father, the Spinosaurus, both fell down in their great fight in Episode 11 of Season 2. It has been a very long time since we have been here. Although it may look similar to the cliff that the Allosaurus fell down just a few episodes ago in this season, it is much larger, much steeper, much more terrifying. Right now, there is actually a bit of a waterfall running down the cliff. The Ceratosaurus is going to get a drink. The Ceratosaurus, however, is unaware that there is another, bigger, killer dinosaur that wishes to drink from the waterfall. The larger theropod approaches. It is Blizzard, the male Eutyrannus. The Ceratosaurus retreats, leaving Blizzard in peace to drink. He wanders further downstream, but then he hears something coming from behind him. He turns in response to the screech. It appears that, unwittingly, Blizzard here has wandered deep into the heart of the territory of the Utah Raptor Pack. Blizzard begins to move closer to the raptors. The raptors outnumber Blizzard 3-1. He has no choice but to retreat. Meanwhile, we return to a location that we have not visited in quite some time. It is the T-Rex nest. Bloodtooth and Grant have completely moved on from the lack of Nigel. They are living their lives normally now. It still feels a bit weird at times, but they have definitely come to peace with it. Rex still misses Nigel very much, though. He is starting to get used to it too, but it is taking him longer to get over the loss of their pack member. Little Tyrant has been growing up very much. Not so much in size, for he is still rather small, but in maturity. Although he cannot fend for himself completely yet, he is allowed to periodically leave the rest of the pack to go on short walks through the forest, which he is about to do right now. He is walking along peacefully when suddenly he trips. He is clearly not hurt as he gets right up, but then he decides to take a closer look at what made him trip. Right below where he tripped is a telltale sign of a predator, a large one. It is a distinct three-toed theropod footprint. However, it is not just the footprint of any theropod. As he lives with other T-Rexes, he knows what this is. It is clearly the footprint of an adult T-Rex. In fact, he can tell by sniffing at it a bit that it is most definitely the footprint of Nigel. He begins calling out into the forest, seeing if Nigel is nearby. Sure enough, Nigel is nearby, and he hears Little Tyrant's calls. He's excited and rejuvenated. Could it be that finally, after months of being on his own, he could be reunited with his pack? Nigel sees Little Tyrant. He approaches cautiously. He reunites with his little brother. Little Tyrant beckons for Nigel to follow him to where the rest of the pack are. The two arrive at the T-Rex nest. Little Tyrant cries out to the rest of the pack, hoping that they will turn around and see that they have been reunited with Nigel. But they ignore him. However, there is no need for little Tyrant to call out to the rest of the pack. Nigel makes his presence known. Rex comes in response to the roar. Shortly after, Bloodtooth also arrives. It takes a few seconds, but so does Grant. The three stare in amazement. They stare at their lost pack member, Nigel, in disbelief that they have finally been reunited with him. Rex and Nigel approach each other. After so many months of being separated, they are happy and relieved to be together once again. Even Grant is quite happy to see Nigel once again. Well, it looks like all the herbivores on the south side of the island are in more danger now than they were before. For finally, after so many months of being separated, the T-Rex pack is back together and ready to kill. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Dinosaur Island.